wire connectors in facilities maintenance. Wire connectors are prevalent in facilities maintenance or building maintenance, equipment maintenance and repair, home maintenance and repair, automotive repair. We're not going to be able to cover every single type of wire connector there is. That would take too long. We're not going to go over, military grade connectors, data connectors, telephone wire connectors, Deutsch connectors, etc. I'm going to stick with the common kind of connectors that you're likely to see in facilities maintenance on a regular basis. So first, everybody recognizes wire nuts. If you look closely on the end of a wire nut, it'll usually say what gauge of wire that wire nut is capable of accommodating. And again, there's different sizes. You can see small on the far left all the way over to large on the right. They also make some wire nuts that are designed for outdoor use. For example, like on a sprinkler system, we need to connect wires on a sprinkler solenoid valve and an irrigation control box. They're full of dielectric grease and they're designed for outdoor use. These ones really aren't. It's also a good best practice once you make your wire connection with your wire nut to wrap that wire nut with black electrical tape just to ensure that it stays on nice and tight for added security and safety. But a good kit like this in your toolbox in your shop is invaluable. Then we have crimp-on wire connectors, spade terminals, ring terminals, butt connectors, fork terminals. These two come in different colors that match up with different sizes. So on the top, the red ones are for smaller gauge wire. Then the blue ones are for a little bit larger. Yellow ones are for a little bit larger yet. And they offer them, for example, you got female spade, male spade connectors. So a kit like this is also very helpful in facilities maintenance. And basically the way these work, you strip off maybe about a 3/8 of the wire that you want to crimp the fitting onto. Then you use your wire crimper tool and you crimp this fitting onto the end of your wire. We have Waygo connectors. So basically the way these work is, again, you strip your wires you're connecting, you open up the little levers, you slide the wires in, and then close the levers, and it creates a pretty good tight connection. And this particular kit will accommodate 24 gauge to 12 gauge wire, solid or stranded. For larger size wires, so we're talking about 1/0, 2/0, 3, 4, 5, 6, the thicker, larger wires that you might find on, like a 75 horsepower motor on a, let's say an air compressor, for example. These tap connectors have dielectric grease inside the ports and usually little Allen screws that you tighten down. You pull off those top caps and you tighten Allen screws down against the wires and it holds them nice and tight. And they're fully insulated. You'll also see on the back side, it'll tell you what wire gauge they accommodate and what their max voltage rating is. And they come with multiple ports, 2, 3, 4. Some are straight, some are 90 degrees, some are T's. So yeah, these tap connectors are for your larger gauge wire. A couple other different type of wire connectors. These push-in wire connectors, some electricians don't care for them because the connection isn't quite as strong and solid as like a Waygo connector or a wire nut. I've used these, they're okay. I tend to agree because you just have a very small contact point inside that wire connector. So again, it's just another option to show you what's out there. They also come, with 2-port, 3-port, 4-port, etc. And then they also tell you what wire gauge they accept. Then on the right side, a great sort of innovative product. Of course, you can always solder your wires, but this is sort of a solder and heat shrink wrap all in one product. So you strip the wires like you normally do. This is showing you a butt splice. but the concept is the same for you know, a spade connector, a ring terminal with this special product. So you strip your wire, you stick it inside, and you see in the center there's sort of a ring of solder already in there. So when you use your heat gun to heat up the heat shrink, it also heats up the solder, and the solder melts into your wires, and then the heat shrinks around your wire insulation, so you get a nice tight, watertight seal that's very durable and strong. So that's another great innovative product. Lastly, the NEC requires these luminaire means of disconnects now in fluorescent light fixtures. If they get, you know, if you replace a ballast, a means of disconnect. So basically, you can see it's a two-piece plug that plugs into itself. You got your hot and your neutral, goes into it from either side, and you can unplug that for safety. That's generally the best practice now when you're replacing a ballast on a fluorescent light fixture per the NEC. If you're going to be crimping battery cables on a vehicle or a forklift, or again, if you're attaching cables, you know, to a high horsepower motor or to some lugs on a piece of equipment, you know, you got really heavy gauge, heavy duty wire. This Crimp Tool is great. I've used this. This Crimp Tool on the left here comes with different dies for different diameter wires. So 1/0, 2/0, etc. And then to go along with that, I'd recommend this terminal kit. It comes with assortment of copper lugs and heat shrink. And again, they tell you what size wire goes with each lug. So it's a quick and easy way to connect, you know, your more heavy gauge wires, battery cables, welder cables, etc. Those you can buy at pretty much anywhere, even Amazon, eBay. Harbor Freight actually has one of these Crimp tools that I've used. They work just fine. Anyways, that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, ring the bell. Leave me a comment for future video topics you would like me to cover. Thanks.